More on these negotiations, let's bring in Mahjoob Zweiri. He's the director of the Gulf Study Center at Qatar University and is speaking to us from Doha. Thank you so much for your time today. So how close do you think Israel and Hamas are to securing a deal? We've had a lot of leaks about reports that this is happening or talks are ongoing behind the scenes, but how close do you think they really are?
I don't think so. They are close. I think they are still. There's a huge distance. According to the one of the Hamas leaders in Beirut, Osama Hamdan, who has announced just early today that Hamas will not accept any kind of discussion before complete ceasefire, complete stopping all military action against Gazan people. So it's obvious that Hamas has not moved its position, and it seems that these kind of leaks has some reasons. One of them is to show the Israeli people that there are attempts going on, and also the Prime Minister is sincere on putting everything he can on table so he can release the captives. And the other reason I think is to pressure those who are opposing any kind of negotiation or releasing of the captives and from different Israeli politicians, especially those who are radical within Netanyahu's government. So I think it's politically motivated, and I'm not sure there is really something will happen soon when it comes to the releasing of captives.
Mahjoob, you speak about the political pressures, and there is so much pressure on Netanyahu, of course, and it's not just coming from within his own coalition partners, but it's coming from many people in Israel, especially the families of those hostages. And then, of course, there is the pressure from the United States and the greater global community to stop this aggression against Gaza. How do you think all of that is factoring into his decision-making when he's also possibly thinking about what his future holds and if he will remain prime minister once this war eventually ends?
Actually, any action from Netanyahu is motivated by his political future. And I think that is one of the main obstacles behind any kind of reason and any kind of attempt to resolve the matter. I mean, he's worried about his political future. He's worried about what will happen on the day after in Gaza, and all of his plans and proposals have been rejected. So I think, unfortunately, all of this pressure from the United States, from within, have failed so far to convince him to do or to put another plan to deal with the situation in Gaza. I mean, the only thing he's using now is the violence against civilians, the continuous attacks against civilians, but there is no other options. I think what he's doing now, it's an attempt to save his head, in other words, and to be safe himself. But I'm sorry to say that he is not responding to all of this pressure. And I think that caused him a problem with Biden in the last phone call between both politicians. According to the leaks, there was a huge disappointment of the White House of what he heard from Netanyahu. It seems that Netanyahu, he's the longest prime minister in Israel for nearly 17 years. It seems he's very smart on manipulating the politicians and the military institution within Israel, and he's doing it with a great success.
Mahjoob, I'd like to get your thoughts on Egypt's truce proposal. It's a three-phase deal that includes all Hamas-held hostages to be freed and detained Palestinians to be released. What do you make of that plan? Do you think it's feasible?
I think the perception was from day one that Israel wants more, or in favor of more Egyptian role rather than Qatari role, sorry. And that was the reason, because the assumption, according to Channel 13, the Israeli channels, they said Israelis prefer the Egyptian mediators because they can impose solutions, quote unquote, on Hamas. That was the assumption in Israel, and that the attempt to push the Egyptian mediation. It seems the Egyptian plan was a response to the Israeli concerns rather than to the Palestinian concern in Gaza. And I think that's the reason it has been rejected from Palestinian Hamas, and also from it seems also from the Israelis, they thought that is not enough. They need actually more from Hamas. I think it wasn't feasible at all to be implemented, considering the fact that the situation in Gaza is deteriorated a lot, and there should be a complete ceasefire sooner than later.
And Mahjoob, once this war does end, it is then, of course, up to many people to decide who is going to have power in Gaza in terms of the political structure and what the people want. What do you think would be the best solution to that?
You know, so far, many proposals have been put on the table. These are not, all of those are not new. We are aware that since 2007, there are many proposals on the table to decide the future of Gaza. All of them failed, and all of them now being repeated by the Israeli Prime Minister. I think there should be sort of discussion, first of all, about bringing back the strength of Palestinian Authority, which was weakened by Israelis. And the second element, Hamas should not be excluded, because the world, the United States, Israelis should learn from Taliban experience in Afghanistan. They excluded Taliban 20 years from politics in Afghanistan, and then they returned back after a lot of loss of people in Afghanistan. If they are smart, they should not repeat the bad history and look at the realities on the ground. And the third element of the solution is any kind of discussion about the future, the future political situation in Gaza should include international commitment towards rebuilding Gaza and putting enough effort to offer 2.3 million people a normal life as other people in this world.
Mahjoob Zweiri, really appreciate your analysis. Thank you so much. Live to us there from Doha.